Welcome back to Redneck's Dirty Hands. I'm Pete, and today, I gotta say, I'm still kind of flying a little bit high on our last trip out to the lake with the shocker there. You know, hitting our 151.20 in the quarter mile on the Draggy verified results. You know, that's a goal we were trying to get all season. We finally got it. The season's looking like it's coming to an end, but we might be able to get out one more time. And I've been working on that apex in the background, so I want to see if I can get it up and going and get it out for one run this season before the ice is gone. You know, not only did we hit a 151.20 in 1,320 feet on the Draggy with the shocker there last weekend when we went out, but we got a top speed showing it on the screen of the Draggy at a 159, 1 mile an hour off of 160, and that was in just over 1,800 feet. That was a full pull. You know, we're not claiming we got 159 in 1320. 151.20, verified Draggy results. Those of you that know what the Draggy is, you know, we got a battle going on with Turtle Tommy and Slowmobile Andy and a bunch of other radar runners up in Sudbury area and all that. But I mean, this is still just the factory turbo housing with an upgraded compressor wheel. You know, turbodynamics tune. We got some 11-tooth drivers. We got Scott Taylor gears. We got Hurricane parts in there. Turbodynamics parts in there. Turbo Parts Canada stuff in there. Redneck Pete stuff in there. I've done quite a bit of suspension work and all that. And I knew, you know, doing all the mods and changes to this thing, getting it fast in the chassis, I knew it was going to equal some mile an hour. We just couldn't get out on good days to do it. And we finally got out on a fast day. And yeah, all those mods. I mean, I think it's the fastest trail weight, you know, small turbo 998 on the planet. Prove me wrong. Like, somebody else go out there with a 630-pound Sidewinder or ZR 9000, you know, with a small turbo, not a big turbo, and do 159. Like, I don't know, I haven't seen one yet. I sure as heck know Turtle Tommy and Slowmobile Andy have never done it. But anywho, enough with those slow guys. Let's go on over to here. So, I picked up this Apex off a fella, Ryan. He actually, I think, used to work at Hurricane Performance there years ago. He was building this as a radar runner. He bought this, believe it or not, off our buddy Josh that runs Turtle Tommy and his Slowmobile Andy's sled. So this was his back in the day. Him and his brother, I think. He had him on. He put this turbo on here, I believe. He said when they were running this hit 156 mile an hour in 1,320 feet. They had nothing fancy going on with it. You know, he didn't have a boost gauge, didn't have air fuel ratio gauge on there, nothing. They just had a GEMS controller and a big turbo and let the son of a bitch eat, and eat it did. So, Ryan got a hold of it. He did a bunch of other mods to it. You know, him and Dave were doing some things. This was quite a few years ago, though. They drilled the injectors, put a Power Commander 5 on it. They got a tune in there. I've been farting around with this thing. I tried to get it up and going, but she just ain't running. It's a turd. It was supposed to have a map for, you know, a sled similar to this build, but just pops and farts and all that. I did find JP had an auto tune for the Power Commander 5. I got hooked up, but I mean, it's hit and miss. It would run good for a little bit and then not good. So I reached out a while ago to Hurricane Dave, Hurricane Performance there, about an Autotronic standalone system, because I know my good buddy Rob Lowe, he knows these things inside and out. Greg Harbin, that super fast, wicked Apex Nightmare there, it runs an Autotronic on it. So they got some tunes for them. So I figure, you know, why not go with something that, you know, we can hopefully get dialed in. So I've got the Autotronic ECU from Hurricane Performance, and then our buddy Ernie had the ignition module. Thanks, Ernie. And then Cody Lizard, he was parting out his, he had a race sled, Apex powered, so I got the wiring harness from him. You know, we're getting parts from everybody in the community here. And oh, my good buddy, Mr. Wildman Mark there, donated me a suspension skid. It was an old Wall Brothers, I don't know if it was an ice skid or asphalt skid. I want to say it's like an asphalt skid because it had aluminum roller wheels all across the bottom. Well, if you take a look, buddy. Oh yeah, I fabbed her in there, buddy. He said when he dropped it off, he's like, it doesn't really fit your application, but I'm pretty sure you're handy enough to make her fit. And you were right, I got her in there. I also made that downpipe. You know, Josh, he came in His new nickname might be 007 because I think he came in here spying on what me and Jim were up to with the shocker and the Apex here. So he was saying he built, or they had a little side exit exhaust on there. It was kind of janky. I like the long tube. You know, I think you get a better read on the O2 sensor instead of having it right at the tip of the side exit. So got the O2 in the middle, and then I love having the exhaust dump on the ground. You get that echo, and it just sounds mean going down the ice. Cody also had an STM primary. He had a secondary there. When I did the deal, I was like, yeah, I'll take. He said, I got a couple of clutches for your Apex build. So yeah, beauty, I'll buy them off you, no problem. The secondary don't fit. You know, this is just a stock Apex jack shaft in this thing. The secondary he had was a 1-inch key. I don't have a shaft put it on, so I'm just gonna run stock secondary with his STM primary on there. Hopefully, you know, hopefully it works. But yeah, I used that suspension from Wildman there. I had to, all those outer wheels, or the back wheels, were moved out to the outside edge. So I had to remachine the back axle and move the two outer wheels in to get them in between the grooves, the drive cogs. And then that is the track that was on Jim's. That's the one we cut down with a skill saw. So I know she's good to go. I mean, sketch factor. Yeah, sketch factor's up to 11 on this one. You know, it's got this, I don't know. It's hard to say if it's not really the best looking hood on there, but it's a lightweight fiberglass hood, so, you know, I guess, you know, we're radar running. It's all about being light as fast. So, when Ryan had this thing, he just had like a corrugated, looked like a vacuum hose or something, intake going from that boot down to here, so it would clearance, you know, when you squish the hood on. That's why I got a hole cut in there. I ordered a bunch of aluminum tubing off of my good buddy Jeff Bezos. So Ryan already had that velocity stack, so I got some aluminum tubing. I cut it, welded it, you know, finagled it, got it so it's just a straight shot from there, go in there, go up through there, hit the turbo, go do-do-do-do-do, you know, all that fancy stuff. Josh said that he put this big elbow intake on there, thought it would be better, but when they were running it, it didn't like having the big elbow on there, so he suggested I change that. I just want to get this thing running good first, you know, up and running, and see if we got to change that. But I want to change the whole wiring harness. Probably going to swap out those drilled injectors, just put regular injectors in it, maybe a few cc more than stock, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe double, but I think those are 660 cc drilled out. We're going to probably going to put 1,000 cc injectors in there, and then we can dial it down if we need to. But he's already got the fuel pressure regulator mounted down in there, external pump. We got a fuel cell. I rigged up, I had to mount the seat on this thing. So I just plated off the back. I built some towers to mount it, and then I just capped it off with the aluminum. Looks kind of like a race sled, don't it? I just wrapped that exhaust pipe so I don't burn my leg. I had to cut a hole in the side panel. I might have to trim her a little more. We might need a little more clearance. But yeah, I say we got to pitter patter, get at her. If the plan's to go radar running, this right now, today is Friday. So we got this weekend and then all of next week to work on it, fart around, and then that weekend following. The plan is for everybody to go up to Sudbury to meet up, and everybody run same day, same conditions. And believe me, there'll be some shit talking, but I betcha. Turtle Tommy and Slowmobile Andy will be walking away with their tails between their legs, eh? But, Andy's got the Slowmobile SRX, Jim's got the shocker, so there's one rivalry. And Turtle Tommy picked himself up an Apex. I think he might be dealing it to Josh. I know Josh really wants the Apex, so that'll be direct competition for them. So I know we're going to send him packing with the shocker, but can we do it with the Apex? I guess we'll just see, eh? So first things first, we got to strip this son of a bitch down. So I got to get her down to the bare bones here, and then I'll assess, make sure I've got everything I need to wire this whole setup. And now I did make Dave was telling me when I was there at Hurricane, you know, it sucks. When we went to pick all this stuff up from Hurricane Performance there, Dave was a super gracious host, you know, took us around the whole facility. We filmed everything, but we were using new GoPros and the audio was just junk. We couldn't use any of the footage, so sorry, Dave. You know, we wanted to put that episode up, but you couldn't hear nothing. It was just terrible audio and just wouldn't have been good all around. But he did give us, I got an air temp sensor off of them. I got an oil pressure sensor, and then he told me they use, when they do this setup for the race things, a coolant temp sensor, just a basic one out of like a 1990 GMC, you know, 350, 305, something like that. So I went to my good friends at UAP Napa and picked one of them up. And then I just took a piece of aluminum bar, drilled her out, machined her, made my own bung. Napa Brad there, he sent me out one of his taps, so I tapped her all up. So I've got this guy made up. I can put it in the coolant hose right under there, plug the sensor in, and we are good to go. Tickety boo. We got coolant can flow through there, no problemo. Even machined some little grooves on there so they won't slide off, eh? Mark's right, I am a handy fella. And then when I made my exhaust pipe, I put 2 O2 bungs in there because, I mean, you can never have too many bung holes, eh? But so I could have a dedicated one for, you know, just running the computer, the ECU, and all that stuff. And then I could just run one to a gauge if I just want to physically see, you know, the air fuel or whatever. Or if I change the setup or whatever, I'll always have an AFR gauge on here and a boost gauge. This one only goes up to 30. It might not be enough, eh? But the motor ain't built. So I don't think we should push it to 30. I think we'll stay in the happy 20 zone, maybe, for like one pass. And then if Turtle Tommy's faster than me, oh, she's going to 30 or 30 and above. I got the screws out of the panel there. You know, when I first got this thing, when I showed up to Ryan's, I was like, oh, this thing looks a little bit rougher than the pictures he sent. You know, typical marketplace deal. But I mean, once you start putting all the plastics and the panels and everything back on it, it actually doesn't look too bad. So now you can see, like, that's just a cutaway gas tank, and then he's got the fuel cell mounted back in there. There's the fuel pressure regulator. Fuel pump is down there. And then, yeah, just a big old dirty turbo sitting right here. So I guess I got to pull the intake off, charge tubes. I'll have to pull the intercooler off of there. I got to access everything all under there, start routing that wiring harness. I'm going to pull the fuel rail off, get ready for the injectors. Hopefully Hurricane Performance sent me a shipping label or tracking number and all that, so they are en route. Obviously, thank God they're not taking anywhere near as long to get as those V-Force reeds for Yamaha, because that was just like, who would have guessed reeds? But yeah, Yamaha's coming along nice too. Look at that. I got the servo mounted for the power valves. Everything's all in there. You know, she's looking kind of crammed in there, but we're getting there. We're getting there. JP's got to wire up, and then, oh yeah. Even if the snow's gone, by the time I get that running, I don't care. I'll grass drag it. I'll rip it somewhere. I know everybody wants to hear it and see it go, and believe me, so do I. So once she's running, I will dangle that son of a bitch across my front lawn. Don't worry. D-Ron's back. I said, we got to get to work on the apex. He said, I'll assume the position.
Finally, a supervisor.
Get down, get ready.
Supervisor D-Ron is on the case. Here, let me move the camera back a little bit then. There you go. Get on there. You're in the shot, buddy. So I got to strip a bunch of the stuff off the old Apex, and you remember the old T-Cat days, eh?
Oh yeah.
When we were out running that, when I had it all boosted up.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
this look familiar?
Yeah, same ratchet strap. Right.
Put a ratchet strap to hold the intercooler down.
Oh, you had it right, did you?
Well, we tried it, but it was running like just running like a bag of potatoes. So, you know what? Josh, when he was here, he was spying on us.
Oh yeah.
He used to own this sled. Said that the intercooler, or it would blow the throttle bodies off. off. But he said he was running like 38 pounds of boost.
That would have blew it off early.
Oh yeah, so we're not running 38 pounds of boost, but I put the ratchet strap on her just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Power Commander 5 was not working at all on this thing.
No.
I couldn't get it to do a solid pull if its life depended on it. So I have all that Autotronics wiring stuff, D-Ron, so we're just gonna go ahead and swap it all out.
At least you got it all marked.
Yeah, that's one good thing. He did label everything when he took it out, so hopefully it's not a nightmare if you can try and
Get it all in there.
right. So I just gotta pull the intercooler off, I think, and then gain some access, because we all the main wires and everything we need to do are all
Right there.
right here, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Take it easy.
Key is not to lose any parts either.
Well, you know what? That would be nice, but I'm pretty sure. It took me half an hour just to find the freaking electric ratchet.
And then the socket to go on it.
We'll see what happens here. But look at the size of that turb scoot.
Well, she's sounding nice.
I mean, not terrible. She's a little dirty up in here, though. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. I only got two hands here, Supervisor. Hold the camera.
This way?
Yeah. Make sure you get me in frame the way. Sometimes when D-Ron's working the camera, you kind of, like a wandering eyeball, kind of wander off, eh?
Yeah. Probably having a sip of beer, probably.
Well, the one thing you are is honest as the day is long, D-Ron.
Yep. I like beer.
Okay, so we're just gonna pull this off as a whole unit here. Oh yeah, losing some clamps. Some clamp-a-doodles. Set those all back on here. So this one, it just has the silicone tubes going from the intercooler to the throttle bodies, and the throttle bodies just have a tiny little lip on here. So that's kind of another reason why, you know, putting the freaking ratchet strap on there is a must, because there's not a whole lot of clamping force, and these are just regular freaking hose clamps. So you kind of need to keep them squished down, because like my T-Cat, like you remember, when we're out running that, I was running 35 pounds of boost, or maybe a little more on that thing, and every time I drop the throttle, I'd blow the carburetors right off the motor.
That's probably when you blew it up, too.
Wow, we didn't really necessarily blow it up. I mean, yeah, I did hurt a valve on it, but... It's coming back, though, D-Ron. It's coming back.
Oh, yeah? Where is it in?
Well,
It's in the trailer?
Yeah. We're going to be putting probably either that Sidewinder motor in it,
Or that one?
or maybe that one. People are going to be like, you just hit 150 in the quarter mile with that. You're going to take it apart. Well, you just never know, eh?
Yeah.
We might fall in love with Apex engines. Maybe we put an Apex motor in that thing.
Well, that thing, you know, probably had Velcro getting that motor in and out all the time. Right?
Alright, so we can kind of see what's going on here. Apexes are just a joy to work on. Doing oil changes on these, eh? You know, you got to strip the whole front.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you got, well, you got one.
Got one still.
Yeah, you got to take all this apart, right?
Mm-hmm. Still take more out.
You can, yeah. You got to take this apart, eh?
Yeah, yeah, right down there.
You got your battery box and everything. You got to pull it out in your freaking oil
Still with
filter.
that arm, too, the battery, that bar there, everything.
Yeah, you got to pull all this out, and then your oil filter's down under all that, right?
Well, you still got to take this out.
Yeah.
And everything has to come out.
I don't think I got to take that out to do this job, though. We got to track down, like I'm going to be replacing this guy, maybe this main power wire going to here. Some of the original wiring is going to stay, and I'm replacing some of it, so I'm going to be losing this stuff. But I'm probably gonna have to keep these vacuum hoses. This thing too, the cooling system's been all capped off. It's basically just circuit. It is.
Did they loot the hoses?
Yeah, they did. It's not running any of the heat exchanger stuff on the rail. It's not, the heat exchangers aren't even there. So it's just
Nope.
running the little rad on here and it's just circulating. So this thing is only meant to go a quarter mile at a time, so.
Well, that's, you know, weight.
Right?
Just take as much off.
Yeah, so now I'll have to investigate how far. This is my first time ever actually really digging in. I just kind of took, you know, Ryan's word, you know, that was basically all set and ready to go. I mean, it does run. It just...
It's not all set.
Yeah, it runs like a nose. So we got to get this thing running like a Mustang, like a... What runs good? Let's get it running like the Shocker, eh?
That's right.
No idea where to start, but I'm pretty sure.
Those are good set too.
Yeah, we're just
Really
gonna start snipping zip ties, and then we'll free up this harness and find out what's staying, what's going. This is the launch control, and I think this might be part of the freaking problem with this thing. It was just rattling down in there. I glued it on, but I don't know if this was causing some of the issues. When I first tried to get this thing running, it did not want to start. I think it had something to do with that. The wires for the injectors and stuff were a little bit, I think one was backwards or something. I switched all that around, it fired up. But when JP hooked up his auto tune on the Power Commander 5, we were able to rev it up on the stand and it sounded pretty freaking good. It was rock and rolling, but as soon as I got it out on the lake, just popping and farting and no good. So we can't have that. We're not going to beat Turtle Tommy running like that. So we need her running like a Swiss watch.
Yep. Oh, you want to beat Turtle Tommy with this one too now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lay the freaking, like The Rock says, gonna lay the smack down on his Rudy Poo.
Yeah.
Candy ass. Oh, well, that freaking unplugged.
Really easy.
Yeah. Wasn't that lovely? Jeez, maybe that was part of the problem.
Well, that kind of sucks now. Now.
We're into her now. We're no looking back, D-Ron.
Yeah.
So that was throttle position sensor.
Well, that would kind of do it.
Yeah. Well, and then we got like these injectors. The Power Commander just kind of piggybacks on your injectors and all that, and the launch control piggybacks on all your coils. So I'm gonna be swapping out these injectors anyway. So we're gonna undo all them, pull them out of here. D-Ron, working on the old Bravo. What are you doing?
Well, buddy wants to go to Sudbury there, so we need a snowmobile, and the guide says, he said, what do you have?
Oh, you said I got the sweetest rig in the fleet right here.
Yeah, well, when he said, fucking, you got that 250 Bravo? He says, that's the one that's coming.
The Bravo. You say you're going to Sudbury, we're taking a freaking old dirty Bravo.
Yeah.
We're going to Sudbury, we're taking lead sleds, baby.
Well, this will break the trail for you.
She could definitely use a good cleaning.
Oh yeah, Roger has another one. I get the parts offer.
This thing's moldier than a loaf of bread.
Yeah, I know. It's in a Quebec shed or something.
The Quebec shed.
Yeah, it was. Fuck, that's how bad it got. Well, you know what? I don't know. Ain't no speedometer, ain't no nothing.
Yeah, she's, how many miles on it? Yeah. Bravo!
Yeah. Been in the family since '82.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've been in the family since 1980. Oh, geez. So, we're stripping the old apex down. So, here we go. There's the launch master wiring, which, you know, I don't even think that was working. And then there's the Power Commander wiring. So, we're not going that route. And then I'm ripping and tearing, pulled the battery tray out of here, and she got dual oil filters. It's got a remote oil feed on here, but that's your oil line going up to the Terpsky, so that's a bit of a surprise, but had to strip all this stuff out, not just to get access for all the wiring and connectors, but I got to swap out the oil pressure switch there. I got that other one, so we got to thread that one in to work with this system, and then I got to drill a hole in tickety-boo over here. This fella here, I'm probably going to pop a hole in the intercooler somewhere around here and thread in an air temp sensor, because the system's going to need that. And then Rob kindly reminded me, I was on the phone with him there just a little bit ago, telling him, you know, I'm in the process of rewiring this for the Autotronic setup. And he's like, oh, don't forget, there's 4 teeth on the flywheel that need to disappear, you know, like an NHL hockey fight. We got to knock some teeth out. So, yeah, I forgot about that. So once I get this all figured out, we're gonna have to pull the stator cover off, which means I got to pull the one steering shaft off, drain the oil a little bit, pull that off, get the stator, the flywheel off, so we can knock a couple teeth out, eh? But I mean, they did do some work. They got solid motor mounts pressed into this thing, so there ain't gonna be no flex on here. But I did notice after a few little test passes, you know, whenever you buy something off of somebody, D-Ron,
Yeah.
it's always good to go over it, which, you know, I did not. I just carried on with my life. I don't know. Do I have a flashlight around here? Hold on.
Yeah, one right here.
You got one? Here, let me see your light there, D-Ron. Steal it just for a minute. Actually, come.
It's hard to find flashlights around here, you know?
Flashlights and 10 mil sockets.
Yeah.
Shine the light in there. Right down in through there, that angle there. Look right in here. Look at that. That there is the nut for the jack shaft. That holds this collar. This is like a taper wedge collar, so you tighten that up and that spreads this, locks it into the bearing. That there is just dangling in the breeze, so that's
Something to look at.
yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing we're into this now. I mean, I don't know if that would actually go anywhere, but I mean, if this thing does do 140 or 150 miles an hour, is the jack shaft gonna come kissing me in the teeth?
We're coming that way.
As long as it doesn't come that way.
Now they got 2 oil filters in here.
Yeah, they got like a remote oil feed on there.
Yeah, they got one there. That's the normal one there, but then that's your extra one.
Right? Pretty snazzy stuff. Okay, what size of wrench you think that is, D-Ron?
Which one?
The oil pressure sender here.
Oh, I'm gonna give her like a 7 1/8.
Oh, I think you're light on that. I think she's
think
gonna
so?
be a
1 1/8.
15/16 or an inch. Let's go see.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a different grips. It's good.
So vice grips.
Yeah.
Just in case, we'll take a pair of them, eh? Now it's probably metric or whatever being on there, but
22.
22. Grab an inch, 15/16. Heck, an inch and a 16th too. Why not?
Just roll the box over here.
Hey?
Just roll the box over here. Right, you know, tools out.
Yeah.
Nice and clean in there.
Yeah. All right. Here, take this. Let's just see.
You want the light on? Yeah, it looks better.
We'll go with the inch first. Wow.
Oh.
Look at that. First guess. Who guessed 1 inch?
Oh, no, I thought you said 1 1 1/16. Where's the socket? Right?
Are we even on there, though? Might need a shorter one, D-Ron.
You're on there.
Oh, we got her.
I'm gonna take that out anyway.
I gotta put a different sensor, sending unit in it for the other ECU there.
Oh.
I think they use just regular, like,
Everything?
GM style coolant temp and oil pressure.
Oh, yeah.
So, make sure none of that crap falls down in there. So we gotta take that guy, which is just that's just a one, so that'd be like for just an idiot light, the 1 wire.
Yeah.
And then this one here is the 3-pronger, which is like your old, like a GM, right? So then we thread that sucker down. This one, however, I don't think
told you it was a 15/16. Yeah.
Well, and I said, I thought it was an inch. It's 15/16.
Oh, is it?
You're right. So we can eat. So this one's gonna be a 21 mil or a 13/16.
Oh no, 15/16. I say 7/8.
7/8. Well, I mean, you're right about the 15/16.
I guess better once you start drinking.
Yeah, Deron, you're 2 for 2.
Well, I should have seen, like, I was out fishing and the...
To prove just to be, so you're not right. I grabbed a 22 mil,
Did you?
which is the same as a 7/8, but whatever. Whatever. So we'll thread that sucker down in there. If I can get in there.
Put some plumber stuff in there.
Should I put a little Teflon on it, eh? It is a pipe thread. I mean, usually they seal pretty good on their own, but I do have some Teflon tape.
Oh, you kind of suck, though, if it does leak.
Yeah,
And you tear her down again.
It's not easy to fix when she's all back together.
No.
If any of you were curious, although I'd have to get Christina to block out that license plate. Oh. Don't videotape that license plate, Deron.
I think I kind of missed it. All right.
That is Canadian
Yeah.
celebrity, local fella, good friend, Elvis Stoico.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the first guy to ever perform the quad spin.
Whatever. Triple Lux, or whatever they call it.
It was like a 4-spinner, you know.
Was that a 4-spinner or a 3-spinner?
We got a 4-cylinder, and he was the guy that
Doing
did
a
the
3-spinner?
4-spinner.
He's gonna be in here mad at us.
What?
Right. We don't know nothing about it.
I know I can't do it.
No. I tried it there on the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't have too many beers. I could do it.
Yeah.
I could do a couple spinnered.
Yeah, the fish almost took the rod in the hole, and I had to try to run for it and stretched my leg too much. I got the rod though and lost the fish.
Well,
I know.
okay, so yeah, I do got to make some of these teeth disappear. So this is your pickup here. The way the factory one is, you got 8 trigger wheel teeth on here. That's how it gets its signal for, ignition, firing, fuel, all that jazz. So the way that Hurricane Dave had it set up for the Autotronic is we got to remove 4 of these teeth. Rob sent me a picture of one already done. So basically we got our factory timing marks here. So we're going just to the right of that. We're going to leave this one. So there's 8. We're going to leave it so there's only 4 opposing. So leave this one, lose that one, leave this one, lose that one, and just basically carry on all the way around. So, measure twice, cut once. Rob sent me some pictures, laid it out. We got the timing marks and we got this one. So I've already cut that one off. So we're keeping this one, losing that one, keeping, losing, keeping, losing. So if it don't start after all this, we'll blame Uncle Mark. He stopped in. We had a few beers, so if it don't start, it's your fault, Mark.
Or you lose a finger.
Or if I lose a finger. So long, sucker! And one more. All right, well, there's definitely no going back now, so I can't put it back to stock because she ain't gonna run for sure now, so we have to put the Autotronic in there, baby.
Okay. Let's do it.
Should have been a freaking dentist. Look at all. Look how easy I removed those teeth. But now we just gotta smooth it out just a little bit. Again, this handy dandy freaking Milwaukee diamond file thing. nice and smooth. We don't want it picking up, you know, a little nub from that, you know, mess up the signal. We want a clean pickup trigger signal for this thing. So I'll get this cleaned up, wipe all the shrapnel out of here, and then we'll button her back up and put the wiring harness in. Might be ripping this sucker this week, maybe.
All right.
Maybe test it. I don't know. If I can get Rob over here, if I get this all wired up, there is a tune in that ECU, but I'm pretty sure it's for like a 700 horsepower race sled, which this is not. So, I mean, if we want to really, I mean, we'll definitely beat Turtle Tommy, but probably send the Pistons to freaking Mars if we run her with that one. So, we need Rob to put a freaking tune in here so we can run it without grenading this son of a bitch. And, yeah.
Do you want me to use that on your feet later?
Yeah, that's a good way to get the toenails. All right, baby. Well, I got the teeth cut off that flywheel, put it all back together, got the oil tank back on and everything. So that part is checked off the list, and I stripped out the original wiring harness and ECU and all that because we are no longer using any of that. So I've also taken my knife, cut a little chunk out of this top coolant hose here because I'm going to install my handy dandy little T-bung fitting for the coolant temp sensor. So
Bungs.
yeah, we like bungs, don't we? So I got to put this, I got to loop it into here and then get some clamps on there. I got to figure out which way. You know, I'll probably have the clamps sitting maybe this way. Put the clamps like so. We got a freaking, and it's, I just machined this guessing. You know, I was like I said, I do everything by eye mainly. You know, I was like, well, it's like a 3/4 hose or something like that. So I machined this 1-inch bar I had, drilled the hole through it, and then made the bung, welded that all up. This is a piece we cut off of there, and she fits tight and right, baby. And I got a little ledge on there, so when we clamp it, it shouldn't pop off or nothing. So now, the question is, can I get it in there without having to take everything all apart? You know what I'm saying? Probably if I unhook one side. Hold on.
Okay.
Work smart, not hard, right?
I know.
Alright, so I loosened this clamp off to give me a little bit of, little extra wiggle, eh? And I gotta freaking make sure I hold my tongue right.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I got it?
yeah.
Okay.
It's the right side.
We're close. So close, no matter how far. Oh.
Would you look at that?
Well, would you look at that? And then we just push this guy back over. Back to where it was. Oh, tickety-boo. We'll be able to plug that. No problem there. Tighten this clamp back up. Okay. Oh, clamp those suckers on there. Now that should be tight and right. And we have a coolant temp sensor for a 1990 GMC 350 or 305 on a 2006 Apex. Nice.
Whatever works.
Nice one.
How's it going?
It's to say it's frustrating is a little bit of an understatement. I tried routing it through on that side because I thought that's how it was, but all these plugs and everything is laid out, so the main harness has to be on this side. So I had to pull it all back out, and I got to figure out where I'm going to put the ECU and everything, and then get all this stuff wired in. And
Do you need a break?
I could probably use a brake.
Oh,
Oh, thanks, baby.
you're welcome.
I love you.
I love you.
break time's over. I've been hard at her. We're putting the finishing touches on, and the last thing is the old ratchet strap to hold the intercooler on so she don't blow off. Think that would blow off?
I don't think so, as long as the hood will go down like you said.
Yeah, let's put the ratchet strap on the intercooler, and that intercooler ain't going nowhere. It definitely ain't the prettiest girl in the bar, but hopefully it works better than it looks. I've got it all wired up, but I don't have a tune or anything in this ECU for it, so I don't think it'll fire up, but come check this out, baby, see what we got going on. So this is all the stock Apex wiring and ECU gone, and this is the Autotronic in here. I've got the key switch hooked up, so I'm running the fan, my O2 sensor, and I have an external temp gauge here.
Come around.
All right, so we got the mechanical boost gauge, and then my air fuel, digital temp, so I know what the temperature is. So if this thing's getting hotter than you, I can shut her down and not melt the pistons out of her. And then shut that off. And then I've got my kill switch, works the fuel pump and everything. That turns the Autotronics on, so we got red flashy lights and stuff going on down here. The wiring is a bit of a gong show, but we just want to see if it's going to work, right? So for now, we don't really know, but I mean, I'll try it, but I don't think it's going to do anything. I mean, it's trying. At least it's making some kind of noise, but I need Rob to come in with his laptop, and we'll get her dialed in, and then hopefully we'll get one more rip this season. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so I've done everything I can do, so now we got the real man with the plan. Mr. Rob Lowe's in. He knows these Apex like the back of his hand, so he's going to hook up the, I'm pretty sure that laptop, that laptop was made before laptops. That's what we kind of need to run the Autotronic setup on this thing, so hopefully, you know, with a little bit of magic tweaks from the man himself, this thing will, fingers crossed, come to life.
Yeah.
See, this is way more high tech than what I'm used to, that's for sure. It's a good thing he knows how to work that. I don't even know how to turn for my laptop on. I know how to turn Christina on, but not the laptop. Is this gonna be like Fast and the Furious, where that's gonna come up and flash warning manifold? Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a funny reading from the coolant temp sensor down in there, reading the wrong. We've unplugged it. You want to see if she'll make any sounds there? I think all you got to do is just push that button there. We're deep into her now, hey? It's pretty bad when you gotta get the ohm meter out, the power probe, and but we are finding issues. We had a broken connection in the TPS on the harness there, and something's screwy with the injector feed, so we're tracking her down. All right, so this is gonna be Rob showing me how to freaking turn that on.
Okay, so just turn power on.
Yep.
Electronics down here in the bottom,
Yes, sir.
and it should connect automatically, which it's doing. Your fuel and ignition are under M2. Those are the two things you're going to change the most.
Okay.
Or if you're going to change.
If we're gonna change anything, yeah.
We're going to do a quick log here.
Okay.
So it's actually logging right now. Do this.
Yeah.
And then when you press enter, it stops. And then you're going to retrieve log data. Enter. And then here's where you push control. And then new log file. And then when you want to view it, open log file. It should come up on it. I use the dates a lot.
Yeah,
So you know where it is if you get lost. Just hit enter and open, and there's your log.
So now,
And then you can just click on this and then scroll across it and see all your values.
okay. Anytime you use it, does it create its own log?
I believe this one's set up for speed. If it doesn't log, hook the two-step button up and just hit it for a sec,
Okay.
because that'll trigger it. It's either set up on RPM,
Yeah.
which I believe it is. It's triggered on engine speed.
Okay. All right, well, to say it's been a day, well, it's a bit of an understatement. But now JP's into the wiring fiasco fun on Yamaha. So we'll let him carry on with that. Today, it was great of Rob Lowe to come down here and give me a hand, try and troubleshoot that apex there, because just a cluster of a nightmare this thing was. And all came down to what we believe, the CDI. So we pinpointed, this is the one out of the apex there. I got off my buddy Ernie, and inside, I don't know, one of the magical electrical pieces that lets electricity live in there and keeps the smoke inside, must have at some point let out that magic smoke, because we were not getting spark on number 1 and 2. We were getting it on number 4, and if I wiggled the plug and played with the CDI box, we could kind of get number 3 to spark. So now I have put a second CDI box in there from Ernie's The Money Pit. She's a parts rig now. So now, if we hit the kill switch, give her some power. Let's hit the go button. It runs. So we're miles ahead of where we were. Nice one. Well, we were like Charlie Sheen and winning until we weren't. So, second CDI box, got it to fire up, but we're down a lung. It is firing on 3, number 4 cylinder. We're not getting any signal to that coil pack. So, I mean, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So, yeah, it's beer time. Jim, you got the right idea. Oh, so if it's not one thing, it's another. I mean, we're down, we're 0 for 2. 2 CDI boxes. One's got one problem. The other one's got like the exact opposite problem. So the first CDI box, we were getting spark on only number 4 cylinder. The second CDI box, we're only getting spark on 1, 2, and 3 and not 4. So, but it makes sense. I was talking with Rob. He was saying that Ernie, that we got the CDI box from, even the second one, was he is running it on a 3 cylinder. And yeah, number 1, 2, and 3 are working. So I'm sitting here in the shop by myself now, drinking beer, and I was like, you know what? I got nothing to lose. Let's take them apart, have a peekaboo. I'm not an electrical fella by any means, but we pulled that one apart. And this guy here is just dangling in the breeze and ain't supposed to be that loosey-goosey, and there's all kinds of like little white powder and stuff all around it. This is the one that was only firing on number 4 cylinder, and then I totally stripped apart the second one. Like, we're down to the nuts and the soup here, and you know what, looking at most of this is like, I don't freaking know. It's like, I'm a redneck, what can I even change? But I did notice, I mean, that little fella there, she broken. So, I mean, hey, I got JP solder and iron warming up, and I got a cold beer on the go. So, hey, I'm going to stick some solder on there, and we'll just carry on, and I'll button it back up. I'll plug it in loosely. I'm just going to plug it back in, and we'll see what happens.
One eternity later.
It is like 12:30 in the morning. It's Wednesday night. I just couldn't stop. I was a little frustrated. The apex there would not run on all cylinders. So I was like, you know what? Everybody else went to bed. I decided I'm not an electrician by any means, but when you open up the CDI, like, that's a pretty complex looking unit. It's got lots of little screws and all that. But when I did open up the other one, I've got it mounted back on there. I found that I got no idea what these little doodads are. I think they're transistors or whatever, and you can see See how they got 3 little legs coming out of them soldered into the board there? Well, on the other one, there was 2 transistors that had the center legs, or the center little pins, were broken. And I think actually, there's the fellas there. You know, I've never worked on circuit boards or anything before, so, you know, hey, JP had his solder gun there. I got a beer right there, so I figured I got nothing else to do. I just started heating up the solder pins there until I was able to pull these guys out. And I was like, well, you know what? I got 2 identical CDIs, so I took the this one apart, pulled the 2 out of here, took 2 out of the bad ones out of there, soldered them into there. So we're back in business, because let me just tell you, nothing worth having comes without some sort of fight. Mr. Rob Lowe told me that when I was telling him, you know what, going back and forth with CDI boxes, and, you know, this Apex is definitely been a struggle to get up and going. And, you know, if you, it's not for the lack of trying. Like, I'm out here, it's 12:30 at night, and after all that farting around, it's going. I mean, it's running. God damn, somebody get me a beer. I don't know if it's running perfectly smooth on all cylinders. It sounds way better than it did earlier today, so yeah, nice one. Now that that's running, we can end this video. So thanks for tuning in. Let's hang up that poster, eh? Not much more left to do except to have a nice cold beer, and thanks to one of our best fans and supporters of the channel, Uncle Cooter and Grandma Cooter. I thought he texted me a while ago and said, you know, asked if I got a package. He sent me a surprise or whatever in the mail. I was like, oh, I never got nothing, right? We got the nice blanket that Grandma Cooter knitted for you, right? But I didn't know what Uncle Cooter was talking about until I found this. And this is from Hillbilly Towing for Redneck's Dirty Hands. Look at this beauty. Like, he knows me, man. So we are going to take, I think this deserves prime spot here, so we're gonna take these decorations off and we're gonna hang that right up.
Good old rusty nails.
Good old rusty nails. Absolutely delicious. Like it was meant to be. But
Christina,
yeah,
we need you over here.
you're gonna have to get the top ones, eh? I can't reach. Does that look good there, babe?
Yeah, looks perfect.
Does it? All right. I can't thank you enough, Uncle Cooter and Grandma Cooter, because that right there, you know, that's that actually means something pretty special to me, because my father, you know, for years and years, that's all we ever drank was Molson X, and then we got away from it for a while, and then I've recently just gotten back into it, and yeah, that means so much to me. Thank you very much. You know, we appreciate all of our fans, you know, sending us stuff and commenting and liking and sharing the videos and all that. It means a lot. We really appreciate all the support. We love doing this and the feedback from you guys, and as always, take her easy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good old rusty nail, eh?
Wait! Hold on!
Let's see if the Apex is good to go, Jim. Can we do a little two-step check?
I felt that.
Look out, Turtle Tommy.